Hello everybody, my name is Gabriella Nash and welcome back to my YouTube channel.
Unless I could cut right to the future and see that we run the race. Unless I would see us together.
OMG!
Welcome back to the channel.
Welcome back, guys. Hello, welcome back. Today we got a big video planned and I'm here with a guest.
Frederick Jackson. I'm just kidding. My name's Fred, y'all. Hi.
Hey. Okay. So happy you're here. If y'all didn't know, we are music majors. I'm a voice major and he is a piano performance major, and we're here to talk about our life. Yeah. So actually. We're actually here to talk about more than just our lives. We
could talk about that though.
Yeah. We have like a whole, so we're gonna talk about like the structure of our music school and kind of how that works. And then we have a little Q&A and we're just gonna get straight into it. But first things first, I wanna talk about how we met because I think it's a really cute and funny story. So basically one day I was in a practice room practicing and this black saxophonist come knocking on the door and there's like little windows. So I'm like, like it's my first time here, like who was knocking? And he's all like, hey, I'm just trying to like find other black kids in the music school. So I wanted to get your Instagram. And I was like, like I'm not the only one. Like I'm also trying to find our people. And yeah, so when I saw you, do you know where we were, what we were doing? Because I don't remember.
Well, the thing is we had theory together, so I would come in late, remember?
Oh,
I would come in really late and I didn't even recognize that she was even in my class until like halfway through the semester.
Yeah.
So that's kind of sad, but you know, so is life.
Yeah, I don't, why did you think that? I was at least there.
I don't know, I was just kind of gone. But we met in a practice room too, like officially, like we talked one-on-one. Yeah,
Okay.
remember?
I do not remember.
It's okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
We're here now, that's what matters.
Yes, but I did also come up to Fran and was like, oh my god, a black kid in the music school.
Right. Well, I noticed you immediately because I was like looking for black kids too, but I didn't say anything.
Oh. Okay. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's really cool. We both kind of grew up in a similar situation of where like we were the only black kids, and a lot of the things we did, like for my choir concerts, my parents would always be like, you were the only black kid or one of two kind of thing. And I'm pretty sure like classical piano, like that was also the same.
I mean, classical, especially in high school, like there's only a few people that played piano, but especially if you're black and you play classical, that's like really rare, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so coming to college, I was like, okay, I want to like meet some more people who are also like black and stuff, but the music school in general is also like, it's pretty bare bones with the black students there, so it's nice to see like, you know, there's some people that relate and, you know, you can have some friends, so.
Yes.
Yeah, so past how we met, we're gonna talk a little bit about like our music school and how it kind of works. We have some questions that are like, they're pretty hard hitting in terms of like how stressful school can be and stuff. And I think a little bit about how our school works will give like insight into how this all makes sense. So first things first, we're gonna talk about like the credit hours and the ensembles because they kind of don't make sense. I truly believe, like, fake statistic of my own, that like music students, like they just really go through it in a different way that people don't really understand. And like one way to prove that is that like our credits just don't match up on paper in terms of how much you're actually there. So like one example is I'm in a choir class and we meet 6 hours a week, 12 to 2 every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you get 1 credit from it. And every ensemble I do is like that. No matter how many hours you're there a week, you get 1 credit regardless. And it's the same for you, right? In piano performance. So already that's like, it's a lot. There's a lot of work like inside the class and outside of the class if you're not getting it and you're just getting 1 credit. So like on paper you're telling somebody you're taking 14 hours, but it's not really 14 hours.
Right.
Yeah, so.
It's more.
Yeah, it's more. So like already that's just like a lot. And I don't know, do we have anything else to say about the credits and stuff?
I mean, it just depends. It depends on the ensemble, but you know, it also depends on your teacher too. Because like certain teachers know that the requirement technically is more than what's on paper. Others, they don't care. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of like a toss-up when you get to that point. So
yeah. Well, also I think an interesting point is we had brought up when we were talking about this earlier, like. So voice majors, I think there's probably the most amount of students that are in voice, and there's a lot of like ensembles that we could join, but you need so many people to be in a certain choir class that like you only get that one credit from the choir class, even though there's other voice ensembles you could do, and you can do them, but you're gonna do them for fun because you don't get a credit for them. But in your world, like for piano, as you were saying about the ensemble thing, like you only need one piano for this.
a lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah. I
So-
mean, certain things are collaborative. Like if you're playing with an instrument or you're accompanying a vocalist, you know. But I mean, even at that point, that's just you, the pianist, and then the other person you're performing with. So like certain ensembles that we have at the school, they will count towards your requirement, but you'll also have to audition for them. So that's another aspect. And also a lot of them don't need 7 pianists, and you know, so we're allowed to take certain classes over again to help fulfill that ensemble requirement. But it can get a little tricky.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's interesting. Like we all have options, but you get options and you get credit for them. We have options, but you don't get a credit for them. So it's hard. It's really hard, and I think there's like some serious reasons as to why it is. But ones that I'm sure I don't even know.
Right,
But
yeah.
anyways, moving on, we wanted to talk about I guess like the class schedule and rehearsals and stuff. So one point we put down is actually, I think a lot of the music classes are always in the morning, so that in the afternoon you have time for rehearsals or studio or your voice lessons, because you have to like actually schedule with your professor, oh, when can we both meet? Like it's not like a scheduled thing when you register for the class. So that's a really interesting thing.
Yeah, and sometimes that can change too, because is your like studio class usually the same time each semester, same week, or does it change?
Well, I think we try to keep it that way, but my first semester it was not what it was today, and my voice lessons have not been the same every semester.
The lessons for sure definitely changed. I've had lessons on Wednesday, Monday, so Thursday even, I think too. So
yeah, So if you're thinking about music school, be prepared for the 8 a.m.s, y'all.
be flexible.
One of my friends is taking a piano class, and the only time they could all meet was at 8 a.m. on a day. So now they're voluntarily taking this 8 a.m. piano class because.
Well, that's fun. Hopefully they like it like I do. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay, and the last thing we're gonna talk about in terms of music school structure and maybe how to get in is how to apply. Because at least for me, there was really nobody who knew like how to get into the music program other than my voice teacher. My parents, they're really knowledgeable in like college applications, but not music applications. So what do we know?
Well, I mean, UT is different because it's also a university, so you not only have to apply to the music school, but you also have to get accepted to the university technically first, even though you do apply to both kind of at the same time. What usually happens is once you're admitted into the university, then they'll review all of your music applications because it's technically a separate school, and then they'll see and admit you from there or whatever the decision is. But that's also another process, so you might have to do a little bit more work with a school like UT compared to other schools or conservatories.
It's a whole thing. So if you want any more questions about that, I'd be happy, or we'd be happy to answer them, because a lot of people don't know how to do it if you've never done the experience yourself.
Right.
So yeah, those are all the points we had for the music school structure, and now we're gonna get into the Q&A. So starting off strong, do you regret choosing the school you did?
No. even though it can be hard, no, I enjoy my time here. I have you, so I'm good. No, I like it.
Yeah, I think you have a unique experience too, because you transferred from another school and took some music classes there. So how do you think that maybe helped your journey, or do you have a preference between a school or so?
I feel like When I was first applying, I definitely knew I wanted to do music. So when I was at my other school, by the way, which is UT Arlington, it was probably easier because it was through the CAP program. So the schools were affiliated with each other and like things transferred pretty smoothly. But I took it upon myself to also take private lessons at UT Arlington as well when I was there. So that way, at least if they look at my application, they know that I'm trying to continue, you know, music at a higher level, not just trying to get in and, you know, start and then struggle per se, you know?
Yeah.
So I did take a few music courses and I did take private lessons while I was waiting to apply for the actual music school here. So that was pretty nice. And at Arlington, it wasn't bad. I mean, UT, as far as their facilities and the Sarah and Ernest Butler School of Music, they have really great facilities. There's lots of practice rooms, you know, lots of rehearsal spaces, which is really nice, you know, to take advantage of. So yeah.
Yeah, I would say I don't regret choosing UT either.
Yeah.
I don't, like, it's hard to say like I miss any other opportunities because I've never been anywhere else, but so far, like, the experience I've gained in the vocal technique, which is what I truly wanted out of going to college, it's been great. It's been everything I've wanted it to be and more, so I'm happy for that and I don't regret it. I always say that, like, school is totally what you make it. So I don't know, I think if there's other universities that might have classes that might maybe pique your interest, but you can't go there for whatever reason, like, there's options, whether it's in school or outside of school, and you know, you can like make your own kind of future there. So yeah, so the next question is, how did you know you wanted to major in music or classical music versus other genres?
For me, I was on the fence for a while. I wanted to be a pilot. I tell people this all the time because I feel like it's such a different field from what I'm in now.
Wow.
But I mean, ultimately, it just came down to what I saw myself doing for my whole life, you know? As a pilot, I mean, pilot's cool and everything, but you eventually retire and it's like, okay, you're not flying anymore. But I truly wanted something, I think, that was a passion and that was truly a career and something that I wouldn't mind doing until the day I die. And, you know, music is something that just comes very naturally to me and I loved, so that ended up trumping every other decision.
Wow. You really took the passion route.
And I really did. I hate to be cliche, but that's what it was for me, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same. Like, I always knew I wanted to do music. Now, classical music, I was like definitely afraid when I started. I started taking lessons in my high school, maybe my junior year, and even like auditioning for school, I was like, oh my God, like, getting on stage and trying to be this opera singer, like,
Right.
It was so scary because my background's in pop and gospel, and I mean, y'all know I make my own music. So like, it's just nothing like that. Like, there is no technique. You get to sound how you sound, and it's just unique. But my voice teacher, I feel like she kind of helped push me into that because I like to perform. And I sing, so it just kind of like came together, vocal performance. But I also like classical music. I always knew that the technique and the training is just like, you just can't get it anywhere else. Like, and even the technique you learn there, you can apply it to all the other genres of music you perform. So it wasn't gonna be like completely useless or anything. And I genuinely do love the genre. Like, I fell in love with it. And I'm a true performer at heart. Like, I don't care what I'm performing as long as I'm on stage. I like it. So I think that's kind of what made me want to do it. Because like I said, like, even though I'm studying classical, like, I still have avenues where I'm doing the pop thing or gospel thing on the outside. So I'm keeping them all fulfilled.
Yeah, that's important. Don't sacrifice your passion, y'all.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a 2-in-1. How do you take care of yourself when you're feeling burnout, and how to stay motivated when things feel a bit stagnant and you're not too passionate about your classes?
Oh gosh. Oh, do you want me to go? Last semester was rough, y'all. Let's just say the least. It's kind of in part my fault too. But I feel like one of the most important things outside of, you know, just getting your work done per se is also taking that time to yourself, you know, having a self-care day where, you know, maybe you've done all your homework already, but don't worry about anything else. You don't always have to go out and have a good time with friends, because believe it or not, that takes time and energy away from you too, you know. So, you know, sometimes taking that time to yourself, giving yourself a spa day, or just kind of relaxing, going on a walk, reading a book. I don't know, that sounds cliche too. But I also feel like just having a good circle of people to talk to as well, you know, because if you're not doing that, at least you can, you know, talk to someone about it, de-stress, you know. So I feel like those are the biggest things that I do. But
Yeah. Last semester was really hard. It was hard for a lot of people
yeah.
in general, but like I said before with the whole music major statistic, it's just extra hard. Literally, we both said that we didn't handle it too well at first, because like with my burnout, like I was definitely having like a lot of emotional moments, and it was just like, next semester I'm dropping everything. I was like, I can't do it. And I definitely have rethinked some of those things that I was thinking about dropping, but it's just like, it's really hard, and you have to really like be in tune with yourself and remember like why you're here and why you're doing what you're doing. And just remember that like college is your time. Like it's no one else's time. Like do the things that you want to do and what make you happy. I know it's hard because like there's degree requirements and it's not always the most exciting thing, but it's good to like look forward to something, which is something I've looked forward to with this semester and even next year. But yeah, it's hard, y'all, and I haven't really figured it out all the way.
That's alright.
It's still ad drop time, so like if it don't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think also like I don't know how to say it, but sometimes when I feel like emotionally really overwhelmed, like school is just that one thing that I don't like drop. And it's per se,
yeah.
like I wish I could be sometimes like you and just not go to class.
Oh yeah.
I wish.
Many a times. Yes. Uh-huh.
I wish I could just like feel okay about just staying in bed or doing whatever. But like, it's just, I just can never not push myself not to go. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But like, it's just that one thing I don't slack on, or I try not to, and I think that really keeps me pushed as well.
Yeah.
But I will say another thing is like, I've always been really busy. I always liked having a busy schedule because I think it helps me keep up with everything. It helps me be like, okay, you have free time, but not really free time because you could be doing other things, should be, whatever. And sometimes that's a bad mentality. Like thinking like,
you always have to be doing something.
yeah,
Right.
I could always be practicing.
If
so
we
bad.
practice like we practice before juries and recitals, we'd be amazing.
Oh my
Even
god.
better.
For real. Like,
Yeah.
but no. Okay, I have an out because as a vocalist, you cannot be practicing 7 hours a day.
True.
Okay.
I really don't. I do, but I don't.
Yeah. But I think you have to learn to like, sometimes you do not need to pursue every ambition every semester. That's been like my key thing right now is that like I still have time. I still have time to go back to things if I really want to. Like it doesn't all have to be over in my freshman and sophomore year, you know?
Yeah.
And be okay earning a B.
Or even a C sometimes.
Yeah. Like the beginning of last semester, I already knew I was at 17 hours, which we said is more than 17 hours, the ensemble stuff. And I was just like, there's no way. Like I can't keep it up. So be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, next question. What is a music school culture like, and how does that translate to the overall school culture at UT?
Oh, that second part though, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Ooh. Do you want to go? You can go.
Well, I feel like the music school culture, you know, coming in here, I thought it was I actually personally thought I was like one of the worst ones here because I was like, how did I even get in here? Like,
Yeah, I felt the
haven't-
same.
Yeah, I haven't been pursuing classical long enough, like, and I thought the big schools wanted somebody who was kind of experienced, I guess. But at some point, like, that all kind of just went out the window. And I think everybody, like, deeply, without it being said, just lives in the world of we're all here trying to figure it out. Like, we're all in college to learn. If we were all that good, or if somebody was that good, why are they here? Why would they be here, right? You have nothing to gain. So the school, music school culture has been really good. There isn't really a competitive nature. And everybody's like fairly nice. We all struggle together, so that's great. And you see those people, I mean, from day one, you see them every day. for like the
Right.
rest of your time here, which can be a bit much at some point, but at least like you have that group of people who like they understand and like they're just
Right.
gonna be there all the time, you know? And I think in terms of like the rest of UT's culture, I don't
Kind of
know.
hard to say. I feel, as far as it pertains to the rest of UT, the music school feels very kind of isolated, not in
Yeah.
a negative way per se, but due to the location of the school and just how highly specialized our training and, you know, education is, I guess by default, we're kind of in our own little worlds, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, being on a university campus, you still do get those very college-like experiences, which I do like. You just might have to go out on your own kind of to seek those
Yeah.
more than you would like at a different school, probably.
Yeah, that's very true. Anyone I ever asked about, and they're like maybe familiar with the music school, they're always like, it's like on the other side of campus, because it very much is.
Yeah.
It is so far away. But yeah, you'll find your stuff to do. Like, it's not a complete loss. You do not need to spend all your time in BSOM, of all places.
Yeah,
Go
have a
out
life.
and have a life.
Have a life. It'll do you good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is our last question, y'all.
Wow, that was quick.
Okay, last one. What is it like being a black student in the music program and attend a public white university?
Ooh.
Oh my god, wait.
The same-
I said that wrong. Public white, predominantly white institution.
Doesn't matter. Oh, funny.
It sounded wrong coming out of my mouth, but I'm not taking the word. I should have put what the actual thing is instead of PWI. I'm thinking the young kids know. Okay.
That's funny. I guess it's the same as being anywhere and being the minority per se. I mean, here, being the minority in the real world is a little different because you have your own people, but it's even more so very small, you know, like me and her were just talking about how many kids we know that are black, you know, in the entire school, no matter what degree, what year, whether they're faculty or students too. And we're kind of like, we could probably count that on both hands, maybe one extra hand. But, you know, not to say that that's like a completely negative thing per se, but also it really is just a different, you know, way of life, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I will say, like, being a black student in music school, like, I don't know. I feel like it all has to do with, like, how I grew up because, you know, I wasn't too shocked with being the only black person in the choir kind of thing, you know. But I do know that, like, coming to college and being able to have, like, certain conversations that you can't have with people who aren't black, per se, like, was very hard to find growing up. And I found myself yearning for those kinds of conversations or that kind of perspective coming to college. So that's why I'm very happy that we found each other because it's just like we just have this other deeper understanding that like that I never realized that I was missing out on. And even in the music school, like it's just a whole different thing trying to integrate classical music because it is so white and Eurocentric. But I mean, I don't know. For at least with our school, I don't necessarily see it as like a hindrance of anything. So that's really nice.
Yeah, but I mean, the faculty and like the school in general does a really good job of making you feel, you know, welcomed and important, you know. It's not to say that it's like, oh, we're the only black kids there. It's horrible, you know. But I mean, you know, that does play into how your experience will be in college. I mean, a lot of people, you know, they specifically go to like a HBCU because that's the type of experience that they're seeking, you know. So it's definitely something to consider. But, you know, the school itself is really good about making you feel welcome and not like some dejected person off to the side or, you know, singled out. So,
yeah. Yeah, so if you want any more in-depth thoughts about that,
part 2 coming soon. No.
put in the comments down below. But we've answered everything. We've done it all. Yeah. So thank you all so much for watching. And of course, put whatever you like in the comments, other topics. Like I said, I have lots of ideas. So you'll be seeing them soon. But for now, Fred, thanks for joining.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I will put his socials and
Yes.
whatever else I find interesting in the description box down below. And yep, see you on the next one. Bye.